Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Nub's RPG Wednesday. As always, I am your host, Victor Nub, and today, and for probably a good couple of weeks here, we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Warrior, originally released as Dragon Quest, developed by Chunsoft, published by Enix, and originally released on May 27th of 1986. This is, of course, the US version of the game, published by Nintendo and released in the United States in August of 1989. Dragon Quest, the original Japanese name of the game and recognized series name in the modern day, was created by Yuji Horii, who designed the gameplay and wrote the story. Horii was inspired by the gameplay designs of the RPGs Wizardry and Ultima, and desired to bring the RPG genre to Eastern audiences. Recognizing that games built on traditional tabletop RPG rule sets would be too dense for most people to grasp, Horii set out to simplify the game system to appeal to a broader audience. As such, players gain experience and level up through direct combat quickly at the outset of the game, and stat growth is handled automatically as opposed to manually assigning stat points. While progress on the overworld map is not physically blocked, entering new regions results in players encountering stronger enemies that can and will defeat the player if they are unprepared. Visually, Horii used bridges to signify to the player that they were entering a new, tougher region. To add to the visual appeal of the game, Enix hired Dragon Ball artist Akira Toriyama to create the character models for the game, as well as all of the promotional artwork. The score was written and produced by Koichi Sugiyama, who was already a well-known composer of television shows and pop music at the time, but chose to solicit Enix for work. Sugiyama and Toriyama would end up working on nearly every entry in the Dragon Quest series until their respective deaths in 2020 and 2024. The story of Dragon Quest follows the descendant of the legendary warrior Erdrick as he seeks to recover the Ball of Light, the source of light for the entire kingdom of Alefgard that Erdrick initially bestowed upon King Lorik of Tantegel Castle, and was stolen by the corrupt Dragonlord. Unlike most subsequent RPGs that would derive their gameplay system from Dragon Quest, the Descendent is the only character that players control throughout the game. To alleviate players of stat assignment responsibilities, the game employs a point system in the background in which your initial stats and growth over time are assigned based on how you spell your name. Future games in the franchise would handle these stat assignments with vocations chosen at the start of the game. The localization of Dragon Quest was renamed to Dragon Warrior due to concerns about trademark infringement with the pen and paper RPG Dragon Quest, which was stylized as one word together. Nintendo supported the localization efforts and handled the publishing of Dragon Warrior in the US and implemented numerous changes. In lieu of the original game's password system, a battery backup save system was implemented. Character sprites were enhanced to face in the direction they were moving instead of just facing forward at all times. Spell names were changed to be more self-explanatory. The text across the board was rewritten to sound more Elizabethan, with words like thou and doth and hast sprinkled throughout the text. Toriyama's artwork for the game box and instruction manual was sadly replaced with more traditional medieval RPG art. And in true Nintendo fashion, the game was scrubbed of any sexual or religious content, including a Toriyama-coined phrase called Puff Puff, a service in which a female vendor would rub her breasts in the hero's face. What value this would have to the hero, I have no idea. Dragon Quest was a huge success in Japan, selling 1.5 million copies, more than 1 million of them in the first 6 months of release. Critics in Japan praised the character design, music, and story, while knocking the difficulty, citing the overabundance of weaker enemies drawn in random encounters. The US release of Dragon Warrior was decidedly less successful, selling only 500,000 copies in total, but still becoming the third best-selling game in the US in 1989. Nintendo had high sales expectations for Dragon Warrior in the US, but was left with a large quantity of unsold games. To clear the stock, Nintendo Power ran a promotion offering a copy of the game for new subscribers at no additional cost, providing $20 subscribers with a $50 game for free. And I am very upset that I never got a copy because I was a subscriber before this promotion ran and somehow I never got it. I don't know what I didn't do, but I should have had a copy. Dragon Quest is recognized by many as one of the most important releases in video game history. The streamlined approach to RPG mechanics and expanded narrative focus have become the cornerstones of nearly every RPG, Japanese or otherwise, that has released since 1986, including the design of the franchise that has achieved far more success internationally, Final Fantasy. A 2006 poll of readers conducted by Japanese publication Famitsu for the 100 best video games of all time was dominated by Dragon Quest games, with all 8 of the franchise games released at that time in the top 1/3 of the poll. The cultural importance of Dragon Quest in Japan cannot be understated. Yuji Horii is considered a household name held in the same level of esteem as Steven Spielberg in the US. I can't even say his name. The game became the inspiration for eateries, TV shows, and even a ballet. And of all the video game themes used in the opening ceremony for the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, the very first song that was performed was Loto's theme from Dragon Quest. That's all the notes that I had. Let's go ahead and get it started. I will say right up front before we get started, I'm thinking we're going to do a complete playthrough. I have never actually played Dragon Warrior before. What I read initially was, depending on what you aim to do during your playthrough, it can go anywhere between 15 and 20 hours to complete the game. If you are a completionist and try to get every side quest and every item available, it can take as many as 35 hours. What I think I will do to try to cut through some of the extra time that it would take to complete the series is, if I have to do any kind of grinding whatsoever to level up my character, I'm going to do it off camera. That way we can just kind of cut through to the main quest stuff, or if there's a side quest that we can try to complete, I'll do that, but we won't spend a lot of time just watching me walk around a field and trying to get in fights to level my character up. I do understand that you do need to level up significantly before you enter certain regions, and I will be using a guide to try to keep an idea in my head of where I need to be level-wise before we start those areas. But this would be the very first Dragon Quest game I've ever played. I have not played a single one in the franchise. All right, here we go. Well, let's see what the... Fast. We want it fast. And we're going to begin a new quest. I don't know why it... Okay, sure. All right. I did look up a guide to see what exactly you should do to enter as a name if you want a very specific set of stats to begin with, as well as how you progress those stats. And I had an idea for what I wanted to do, and it didn't turn out to be exactly the stats that I was hoping for, so I said, screw it. We're just going to call myself Lord Nub. And I think there's supposed to be a space. Yep, there it is. Right here. Nub. What I read was this starts with high strength and agility and lower health and magic points, but over time, the magic and hit points are going to grow more than my strength or, oh, that's weird. More than my strength or agility. So this could go really poorly. It could go really well. I don't know. I, again, never played it before. All right. We're not going to do any weird voices because I don't know anything about the game and I don't know which character should sound which way, so we'll just read it like normal. Descendant of Erdrick, listen now to my words. It is told that in ages past, Erdrick fought demons with a ball of light, which you should have, idiot! I read the story before I got here. Then came the Dragonlord, who stole the precious globe and hid it in the darkness. Now, Lord Nub, thou must help us recover the ball of light and restore peace to our land. The Dragonlord must be defeated. Take now whatever thou may find in these treasure chests to aid thee in thy quest. Then speak with the guards, for they have much knowledge that may aid thee. May the light shine upon thee, Lord Nub. Oh, no, back up. All right, let's just go. All right, take? There's nothing here to take? What? How do I... Oh, you gotta stand on it. That's weird. Okay, take. Fortune smiles upon thee, Lord Nub. Thou hast found the magic key. like how you bonk into the wall. All right, there is a little bit of a hitch when you're trying to change directions, and I'm sure that's because they wanted the character to face the way they were walking first. Of gold, thou hast gained 120. Wow. Move, idiot! Yeah, it's very hitchy. Take. I found the torch. And what do you got? No, get back here! Don't you dare walk away from— Ah, you son of a bitch! Talk. Dost thou know about Princess Gwaelin? Gwaelin? Lord, now please save the princess. I didn't actually know about her. Let's talk to him again. Half a year now hath passed since the princess was kidnapped by the enemy. Never does the king speak of it, but he must be suffering much. Lord Nub, please save the princess. We'll give it a shot. East of this castle is a town where armor, weapons, and many other items may be purchased. Return to the inn for a rest if thou art wounded in battle, Lord Nub. Sleep heals all. I wish it did. When you get to be my age, it doesn't. If thou hast collected all the treasure chests, a key will be found. Once used, the key will disappear, but the door will be open and thou may pass through. Oh! That's pretty clever. They don't let you... Or... They don't let you leave until you get all the items that they want you to take. Okay, let me move. Okay, so that little menu pops up if you just stand still. But I was doing something. Stairs? Why do you have to hit that? Weird. What up? King Lorik will record thy deeds in his imperial scroll, so thou may return to thy quest later. Thou art planning to take a rest. First see King Lorik. I've already done that. Hey, what up? You should say that every time he walks up to somebody. Where can I find Princess Gwaelin? Gwaelin? I don't know how you say AE like that. Is it Gwaelin? There was a time when Briconnery was a paradise. Then the Dragonlord's minions came. I'll fix them. It's a line from Futurama. He goes, I'll show ye. Now don't take the door. Don't talk to the door. Open the door. Oh, I want in. Let me in. What up? To become strong, thou must face future trials. Thou must first battle many foes. I guess. I did think that it was appropriate to do the series for Dragon Quest now because, or at least the first game, because they did just release the HD 2D remakes of Dragon Quest 1 and 2. And I had never played this game before, so I said now would be a perfect time to figure out what the series is all about. Thou must have a key to open a door. That's going to be inconvenient for every building I ever get to. You just try to go into the inn, there's a door in front of it. Oh, damn it! We are merchants who have traveled much in this land. Many of our colleagues have been killed by servants of the Dragonlord. Oh, that sucks. Can you not stand in my way? Rumor has it that entire towns have been destroyed by the Dragonlord servants. I would say that the music does feel a little bit Spartan in the way that it's designed. It's very simple melodies, but, I mean, people loved it, I guess. Alright, so nothing there. I want to jump on that little striped island. Aw, damn it. Alright, that's going to be something I have to add as a complaint in the design of this game when we get to the final review of it, which is, it's hard to get to have people right where they need to be when you try to talk to them, because they'll walk away before you get the box to pop up. We've already heard some people say that. How about you? Don't walk. When entering the cave, take with thee a torch. Alright. See an old man behind a counter? Probably a shop of some kind. Lord Nub's coming was foretold by legend. May the light shine upon this brave warrior. I don't know why I'm doing a voice there. He just felt like a different character. That's either the inn or a save point. I don't know which, because it wasn't really well explained. want a key. Damn, there's a whole bunch of things I can't do. I wonder if I have to walk around the outside edge of this building to get over there. We're about to find out. Up, over, over. Let me over. Ah, damn. Let's go back in real quick. Can I go around the outside like this? No. How about the outside like this? No. Well, how the hell do I interact with the stuff where there's supposed to be like a door I can't get through? All right, well, we're already at our first impasse. I can't even get to half the building because I don't have a key. Unless I can open these doors and they were just lying to me. Let's try. Door. Damn. All right, well, I guess we have to go find somewhere that we can get a status. I have no weapons, no armor, nothing. I have a torch. So what happens if I try to get into a fight without any equipment? Am I just gonna lose? Oh, we're about to find out. Let's, I'm gonna save state, and I'm gonna probably do it a lot, because you only have your one character during the playthrough, so if you get into a spot where things are a little bit tough, you don't have anyone else to revive you or give you health. You gotta do it yourself. I think the grasslands is where you find the least encounters, or at least the easiest ones. A slime draws near. Let's beat his ass. No loss of hit points. That's not good. Try again. Got him. I hope he dies quick. Good. I got 1 frickin' gold. That's gonna take a long time to finish. Let's go talk to the guy, I think, who was supposed to heal me. You heal people, right, dude? Please? The screen flashed. No. Alright, I have no idea what to do if I run out of health here. I have some gold. Maybe that's the place where you save. I'm not sure. Let's go over here. Hey, you guys got some goods? Thou art most welcome in Briconnery. I don't know why I feel like I have to do it in an English accent. Welcome, enter the shop and speak to the keeper, whatever. Hey, I need some equipment, bro. We deal in weapons and armor. Dost thou wish to buy anything today? Yes. Let's see. We can get a bamboo pole, a club, a really nice, expensive copper sword, which I can't afford. We can get... I mean, I feel like leather armor and a club, at least, would be where I want to go. But I can't afford both. So maybe I go with the club and just wear clothing, because the slime that I just fought only took off 1 hit point. So maybe the club and the clothes. But man, if they're only giving you 1 gold each time, you really don't want to waste the money on, you know, crap. We'll do the club for certain. Yep. Now clothing is about all I can do. Yep, go ahead. Not right now. What you got up here, dude? You look very sus hanging out in the woods like that. Watch thy hit points when in the poisonous marsh. Oh god, I'm getting flashbacks to Dark Souls right now. Please, save us from the minions of the Dragonlord. No, you do it! Go north to the seashore, then follow the coastline west until thou hast reached Garenham. Okay, so here's the inn. How much are you going to charge me? 6 gold! Damn, dog! Let's do a little bit of leveling before we waste the money on that service. Tell King Lorik that the search for his daughter has failed. I am almost gone. Oh. Open. Talk to the door, you idiot. Why are there so many doors that are locked around this place? It's almost like they don't want just a strange person walking in. No, I am not Princess Gwaelin. Gwaelin? Again, I don't know where they want to go with the pronunciation there. Many have been the warriors who have perished on this quest. But for thee, I wish success, Lord Nub. Thank you. Please save us from the minions of the Dragonlord. There is a town where magic keys can be purchased. I see this. Thou art cursed. Come again. Oh, okay. Damn you. Stand still. See King Lorik when thy experience levels are raised. Why? What does he do? Why did I talk to him again? Alright, well, whatever. Can I get past this guy who was on the bridge? I sure can. Oh, we've entered a tougher new region. Art thou the descendant of Erdrick? Hast thou any proof? Yeah, here's my ID. Enter where thou can. Alright, well, I'll enter. Within sights of Tantegel Castle, to the south is Charlock, the fortress of the Dragonlord. Yeah, that's one of the things that they thought was very important in the design of this game, was to make it so that you could see the end goal as soon as you left the very first castle. Welcome, we deal in tools. What can I do for thee? Let's see what you got. Health, torches, and a dragon scale. I don't know how long a torch lasts. I suppose I could look that up in between episodes, but I would assume, since they're fairly cheap, you burn through them very quick. And I have no idea what dragon scale does. Herb should be pretty self-explanatory. You probably use it just to recover health. Oh yeah, he already said what he was going to say to me. Let's go up here. Nope, that was the woods pervert. The woods pervert. Can't get in there. Go talk to the evil guy from Willow. Yeah, the dude that wore, like, the skull mask. Beware the bridges! Danger grows when thou crosses. Oh, alright. Maybe for you. Because you're a bitch. Alright. We have to do a little bit of grinding. What I read was the very first cave that they kind of send you off to begin your journey is probably a good spot to be at level 6 at a minimum. Alright, so I did 2 damage. I don't know if that's a big jump in what I was doing, but I only got hit once, so there you go. Poke around the woods. I think they're supposed to be a little more heavily populated, a little more dangerous. I'm a man, so I want to just roll hard, you know? I want to get the hard fighting early so we can get more experience, and it took forever to find one damn slime. Aha! You didn't hit me! You're a bitch. I win. I suppose I could pull up a... I know there was a table that I had seen somewhere that tells you what your levels are. Let's see. This one. Levels. Alright, so I get the second level at 7 experience, so you really don't have to go very far level-wise before you get to the next one, or experience-wise, before you get to the next one. How about the mountains? This is probably a terrible idea. And I'm hitching like crazy walking through the mountains. That was still a slime. There we go. Still giving me dog crap for money, but hey, that's kind of what you gotta deal with. A red slime! Oh boy. Let's save before we get trucked. The red slimes do 3 times the damage. Uh-oh. Oh, not a huge difference. Dead! 1 and 1, right? Oh! 2 gold. We want those red slimes. Goddamn right. The only place we could heal was in Braconnery, so we gotta hang around here, I guess. Alright, we gotta get in 2 more fights, and then we should be able to level up. I have a rough idea of what my stats are going to look like by the end of the game, but I'm not going to pay too much attention to what they're going to be as we're playing. Over. And level up. Courage and wit have served thee well. Thou hast been promoted to the next level. Thy power increases by 1. Thy max hit points increase by 6. I bet you don't get any of that health right off the bat. You gotta go recover at an inn before they give it to you. Yeah, we'll spend the $6. That's fine. Yeah, not exactly raking in the cash in this first area, but I don't know if there's a way you can get out of this kind of slow grind in the early areas, if there is a safer way, or safe but faster way to do that. I'd hate to have to do, because it looks like the next level's at 23 experience, I'd hate to have to do 16 more fights against these simple slime enemies to get the next level. Especially if they're paying so poorly. 2 gold ain't gonna cut it, man. I gotta get more gold than that. Owie! But as we're leveling up, you know, obviously my character's gonna gain more damage potential with each hit, so... Hard mountains? Yeah, hard mountains. So the max amount of experience points that you can get in this game is 65,535. Oh, crap. He attacked me early. That's a convention that gets visited in just about every RPG ever made, which is that the enemy gets a surprise attack. Dead. Trucked full. The smartest thing about the design, from what I've seen so far, is that you get in and out of these fights fast. You are not wasting time with preamble, where they tell you what you're facing, giving you a long, convoluted menu to pick through to do fights. You're getting everything done very quickly here. And I think that is emblematic of the streamlining that they were talking about with the design here. And so far, no big differences in what you're seeing, depending on where you go. It's just red slimes or non-red slimes, which I'm not sure what those are. Turquoise? The green? And I don't know if there's anywhere I can go to increase the difficulty without being in horrible danger at this point. You do have a run option. I have a feeling it's just like any other game where if you try to run, you are not guaranteed to get out of the fight safely. They said if I level up, I should go talk to King Lorik. We should do that real quick and see if there's anything special that happens. The answer is going to be no, but you never know. Maybe. Maybe something cool happens. Ah, you leveled up. Here, have like 800 gold. Thank you. Stairs. What a weird choice. That's something that they definitely didn't need to do. I am greatly pleased that thou hast returned, Lord Nub. Before reaching thy next level of experience, thou must gain 6 points. All right, so... Will thou tell me? Ah, you have to talk to him to save, which is inconvenient. Is there no other way to do it in the game? Yes. Oh, that's brutal. So the only way you can save throughout the game is to come all the way back to this castle and talk to the king? That wasn't a good choice. I get it. It's not exactly the most dense game in terms of like areas to go to and number of dungeons. I think it's like 5 dungeons in the entire game and 5 towns. And we've already seen one of them. Not the dungeons, but the towns. So it's, I mean, you still have to walk a really long way to get back to the castle to save. I'm betting there's other places you can save. Like in towns or castles where you could talk to the king or someone and they'll, like, record your quest. And it's probably a bit early for this to actually happen, but I'm kind of disappointed you don't see any change cosmetically in your character when you put on new equipment. Alright, so we're at 10 hit points. We'll try to get this done without spending money at the end yet, but who knows? We might have to go back. I think it's curious, there's a pretty wild swing in how much experience, or not how much experience, how much damage you're doing with each hit. Again, it's one of those things where they put it all in the background, so you have no idea what stat is being rolled when you determine how much damage you're doing versus how much armor the enemy might have to block a hit. Cool. One more. We need one more fight. There we go. And, oh, we got a hit. Down you go. Alright, what do we get? Power up by 2, speed up by 2, hit points up by 2, magic up by 7, and I have learned my first spell. I have no idea which one that is. I think they tell you. Yeah. Alright, so now I have the ability to heal myself in the field. So I don't necessarily have to go back to an inn and spend money to get health back. In fact... Hey, look at that! Spell. Heal. Oh, because I didn't get any magic when I leveled. Okay. It's like they gave you a spell that you learned, but you don't have the magic to use it. That's not a good choice. Yes. Did that go up, or did it stay the same amount? Like, is this guy ripping me off because he's like, oh, you look pretty strong. We're going to charge you 3 times as much to heal. You're like, what? This is highway robbery. And he says, yes, it is. All right, what do you got? Let's see your goods. We have a club. Copper sword is where I really need to get to. We have clothing. I'm assuming the shield and the armor are both equipped at the same time, and it's not like one or the other, in which case I would go with the shield and screw the armor. I also don't know if I have an inventory, or if you sell whatever you're wearing. No, because it's not, like, they don't show the items that you have there. Status? I don't know. I guess the only way to find out would be to do it. Sell whatever I'm wearing. Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I thought I saw maximum hit magic points were supposed to be 11, and they only had 7 magic points. Like the game's ripping me off. How dare they? I need to get to level 6 before we go to the first major dungeon. And that's going to require 220 experience points. So it may behoove me to move to a new region and see if we level up just a tiny bit faster. I don't know which way the next region would be. Up or down? It sounded like they wanted me to go up first. I also don't know where the next town would be. Good. I hope I'm just beating these things like in one shot every time now. It does feel comparatively breezy to the game I grew up playing as basically the first RPG I ever experienced. And we did look at it as like the 6th game that I ever did on Nub's Collection, which was the Miracle Warriors, or Miracle Warriors. That game, I mean, we saw in the one-off video I did for it because I was planning to do a couple episodes for it and then realized it was going to be a big pain in the butt to finish. That game, right out the front gate, there are enemies who can kill you, like just walking out of the first town without any recourse because they do way more damage than you do. And you don't have a choice but to fight them, because if you try to run away, they'll catch you and hit you again. It was unbelievably difficult. I hope he gives me something good. Uh-oh. May not be able to go this way anymore. Alright, good. A lot of experience killing that guy, and more gold than we had gotten at that point. But yeah, that was a pretty brutal fight. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like I need to kind of go up and to the west, not where I'm going right now. So let's do that, up and west. Oh, a Drakey. Drakey? Takes some damage to kill him, and he is starting to deal some damage back. Tough enemies. Oh, you know what? I crossed a bridge. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Let's save real quick before I die. Because if I die, if I'm not mistaken, the game punts me back to either the castle or the town, and I lose half my gold. I have 72 gold. I do not want to lose that money. Uh-oh. Alright, I gotta use a spell myself. Holy crap! Heal. Alright, well. I got some health back, and that's the only time I'll be able to do it, so he better die soon. Oh, I'm done. He killed me. Load. Alright, yeah, go for it. Oh boy, I gotta do better than that. Load. It didn't even occur to me when I crossed the bridge that, oh, you're entering a harder region. You might want to take it easy, buddy. Now, this is the only shot I'm gonna get. Gotta do some big hits. The spell of hurt. Oh, come on, 10? That's insane. How about I run? Aha! Alright. Get out of here. Not safe. Let's go fight the comparatively easy ghost enemies instead. Although they're not too easy either. Big hit! 9. Woo! Alright, we gotta heal. Spell. Heal. Alright, good. I think we should go back to town real quick. Didn't know how much... Ah, you bastard. Didn't know how much progress I was going to be able to make this far away from town, but obviously, not much. I need to stick to the plan of getting, like, 5 or 6 levels before we go to the first major encounters. I would say there is something kind of refreshing about a game that keeps things as simple as this one does. You don't have a wealth of special abilities that you can use. Your options are pared down to the bare minimum. It's fight, spell, run, or use an item, and that's it. You get to games like Final Fantasy, and you start seeing different abilities or skills that the characters can use in battle. And it wasn't even the first game. The first game didn't have too many of those, but they did have the ability for your characters to gain job promotions to increase what they could do physically or magically. I don't want to go back into town just yet. Let's get some experience and gold before we do that. I assume that weird black stuff around the castle there is poison swamp, but I don't know. It might not be. Yes, let's fight these guys, even though they hit harder. Get more money. That's what I want, is that money. Getting real close to getting either a shield or the copper armor, which should help getting through that area with the stronger enemies. Go in the mountains. Maybe that'll increase how many enemies I see. Very hitchy when you get to the mountain ranges. I don't know if that means it's because the game is slowing down as you walk, or increasing the number of encounter rolls that are happening in the background. Or it could just be they couldn't process the game walking through mountains. Well, how would that cause a slowdown? Who knows? It's a video game. Alright, I need to get to... Oh, we're actually pretty close to the next level. 47 experience. So 5 more. And then we learn another spell, apparently. Ouch! Uh-oh. Four more. Let's save, so I don't die before I get back to the town. And we want to make the most out of that $6 expense to go to the inn, so I want to try to gain the level before we do that, even if it means getting things pretty close. Shame the castle doesn't have like a bed you could sleep in for free. I'm trying to save the kingdom. It'd be the least they could do. Fun little touch that I'm noticing now that I have noticed in at least one other game. The fact that when your health gets low, not when someone dies, but when it gets low, the text and everything else goes to that kind of pinkish hue. I am a very big fan of the game Earthbound, and that same thing happens when a character in your party dies. I'm sure this is what was the inspiration behind that decision. Alright, we have the money to get the small shield, if we want it. I don't want the copper sword more, but, you know, we're in the early stages of the game, so I'm not worried about defense against slimes. That's probably a bad approach, but whatever. Dead. Alright, we need one more. One more, and then we can go to town. Here we go. Uh-oh. Come on, get him. Here we go. Level up. Alright, and... Alright, agility went up 2. Hit points went up 6. Magic went up 10, and I gained the spell Hurt, according to my handy-dandy little guide here. Alright, let's go to the inn first. Gotta get some sleep. Yeah, it's still $6. Alright. They're not ripping me off. Not yet. Go to the next town, it's like, well, you need to spend $100 to go to bed. I only earned $30 walking here. Well, tough shit. Ah, I fell $1 short of that small shield. Let's do that because I don't have any shield item yet, and I don't know if that's... Oh, I paused the game. All right, no. Hit the... Ow, what are you doing? Status, I think, is where I gotta go. So you can wear a shield along with armor and or weapon. Let's go get the $1 I need to buy that shield. One hit kill? Good. Let's go get that shield. See how much I need to get the next pieces of equipment here. Doc? Yes? What do you got? You got... So 180 for the copper sword. That is expensive. And 70 for the leather armor. I need 250 bucks to kit out in the first town. And you're only getting $1 per encounter. That's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. And my 5th level, which is kind of where they want you to be before you start adventuring out of this area, is 110 experience. Whew. Small shield for certain. I don't know if this will give me... no, that's fine. If that's going to give me the ability to block hits or just increase my defense. Guess we'll find out. Let's see. I was going to figure out... Oh, okay. So yes, if I go to buy a better piece of equipment, you sell back the other piece of equipment. That way you don't actually carry around any extras, which is good because I can't give it to anyone else. There's no other party members. Yeah, the cave I'm looking for is somewhere up here, to the northwest. Look at that, it gets so hitchy. Aha! He didn't hit me. You got nothing, dog. Dead. Oh, I took one step. Oof. Yeah, slugfest going on here. There it goes. Well, we gotta do this if we want to get to that next major hurdle. We're not going down across the bridge. That'd probably get me in all kinds of trouble. Alright, Drakey's dead. Drakey. I don't know how you say that. Oh, he better be dead. I basically did a spin attack on that one. Ouch. Cave? Else a cave! Alright, there's a town. Let's see what the town has to offer. Garen, a wandering minstrel of legendary fame, is said to have built this town. What do you got? We deal in tools. What do you got? Same stuff that we've already seen. Alright, well, whatever. We'll get another torch, but I need to upgrade my equipment first. Many believe that Princess Gwaelin is hidden away in a cave. I stare at walls! I have heard of one named Nestor. Dost thou know such a name? Again, this is one of those things where Nintendo, at that time, had created a mascot named Nestor, and because they did the localization, they had to force their nonsense into this game. Welcome to Garenham. May thy stay be a peaceful one. Well, if he's got equipment, what kind of equipment you got? Ugh! This is some expensive crap. I can't even afford the leather armor, and you're trying to sell me, like, half plate mail for $1,000? Good luck with that, dude. What you got? It said that the princess was kidnapped and taken eastward. I love that they're making it seem like the princess is the ultimate goal when it isn't. 25, I knew it! They're gonna start getting real greedy. Sorry, I can't afford your high-priced garbage, guys. Okay. Oh no. Oh boy. All right, well, let's cast the hurt spell and see if we can. And he does it right back. Well, we'll try fighting. Ugh. Got him! Good gold return, but we did lose a lot of health fighting that guy, so that is a scary, scary encounter. This early in the game. I don't want to do too many of those. Plus, I had to use a big spell to cause that damage. If I didn't, I don't think I would have survived the fight. I think our goal for this episode is going to be trying to get to the next level and then calling it a day or getting as close as possible. So that is the first cave, first dungeon in the game. We will probably head there with the next episode. Oh, where am I going? I don't know. We want to go back to the left. Or right, rather. Quit hitting me, you jerk. Love it. It gets so hitchy on the mountains. Nowhere else. I know they won't do it, but what would be really cool is if you had like an auto win scenario where you get so leveled up, the small, easy enemies, you don't even have to fight them. Again, Earthbound's standard, but Earthbound has so many similarities to this game, I can't help but draw the comparison. Like, you never see your party when you go into fights in Earthbound. Same thing here. You don't see the Descendant, I guess is his default name. We don't need to do that yet. Yeah, we're fine. I was worried about it, but I don't need to. What I do need to do is use some magic to heal. Okay. At 4 a pop, I can afford to do that 2 more times before we have to go running for an inn of any kind. Just wanted to stick around a place that's a little bit safer, but maybe not that safe. We can go up north a bit. Yeah, these guys are a little more challenging, but they pay out a little bit better as well. Go wandering through the mountains, get into a fight I can't win. Ouch! I really should aim for the copper sword. It's going to be a long haul to get the money for that, though. At 4 gold for fighting those guys, when you do see them, that's a big hill to climb. Oof, hit hard, too. We're getting close. I need 110, I think it was? Yeah, 110 experience to get to the next level. Uh-oh. Use a spell after this. Alright. Spell. Heal. Good to go. I want to fight those ghosts. They are giving me a lot of experience. And a lot of money, too. They also hit really hard. Beaten. Wasn't such a scary encounter. I'd go after the magicians, but man, those guys are dangerous. Got him. We'll do one more heal on myself. If I drop below 15 hit points before we get to the next level, I'll have to bail. What's in the sand? I'm afraid to go find out. Where am I at money? 64 gold. We're making progress towards... at the very least, I can get the leather armor at the town by the time I get to going back. He dodged, and I dodged. You jerk, why aren't you dead? Yeah, I could do 5 hit points of damage, but I didn't kill you in one shot? We shouldn't even be having this conversation. You should have just died the second I saw you. Alright, so we need 14 more experience points before we can hit level 5. And then we'll head back to town, recover, and then call it an episode. Again, I don't want to make every episode just, like, 45 minutes of me walking around and grinding before I do anything of substance. I'll try to do most of that off camera. Get out of here. 11 to go. There's a ghost. Oh, crap. Definitely can't handle that too many times. You gotta die when or take hits when I swing at you. There we go. Oof. We're gonna have to start heading back now. Grass supposedly is the safest area to walk. Lowest number of encounters. But we also don't need to avoid encounters altogether just yet. Just no more ghosts. Those guys hit a little bit hard. I don't know. Yep. There we go. Come on, red slimes, where are you? These guys aren't worth the effort. We want something that's going to get me there fast. Five left. See if I can get something in the edge of the woods here that's a little more rewarding, like the Drakies. Of course, I won't find anything to fight. Come on! Where are you? There we go. Of course, they get more hits in and take more damage. Alright, 3 points left. There we go. Red slime's good. Dead. 2 points left. Alright, one more, and... Come on, what are you doing, game? Quit jerking me around and give me the fight. There we go. You missed. There we go. And level 5. We got, oh, big bump in power. Nice bump in speed. Hit points, magic, Let's go back to town. Heal up. We'll probably spring for the armor. Because I should have enough to get it. And then I will go ahead and call it an episode for episode 1. Yes. Let's get that leather armor. Yes. Yes. Okay. No, not now. Alright, so, we were, just to wrap things up for the first episode, well, I can go back and save in-game, for what value that has to me, because I can just do save states anywhere. We were introduced to the world of whatever the hell it was called, Alefgard? Or is that the castle? No, it's, the area is called Alefgard. Stop talking to the stairs, idiot. And introduced to the plot of the game, which is essentially we have to go find Dragonlord and recover the ball of light that he stole. Didn't make it too far away from the first town, because we did need to level up in order to take on the first major dungeon of the game. So you're going to have to get another 110 points of experience to gain the next level. That is a lot. Yes. Yeah, we'll continue. I don't want the game to reset here, because I have no idea if in-game saves work. And we'll go ahead and get back out to the overworld to wrap things up. There we go. Alright, so, the starter enemies in the area and the amount of money they give out, in comparison to what you have to spend to get the best equipment in the very first town, is pretty poorly balanced, in my opinion. To have a weapon that you can buy in the first area that's $160 or $180, and the slimes that you're fighting only drop 1 gold every time you kill them, seems extremely imbalanced, because it means you're going out way further afield from where you start the game to get enemies that give you meaningful amounts of money so you can come back and get that better sword. Not to mention the ones that you would fight to really start earning cash, like the magicians, hit you way too hard to really want to engage with them more than once or twice before you're running to a town to recover your health. And that's just cutting down into what money you already are struggling to make. I think they could have done a better job balancing that, but again, this was basically the first attempt at a game of this type that had been made in Japan. So obviously, there's going to be some balance issues that we're going to find as we're playing the game, and I will keep track of those when we wrap the series up here for my final review. But yeah, the early going is pretty rough, because you do have to spend some time leveling up your character before you can really get moving. And many RPGs, they found a good balance of making story-based progress without having to spend exorbitant amounts of time just wandering around in a field to fight enemies, to level up, to move on. I think the ones that recognized the value of a more kinetic experience where you're just going instead of having to sit and waste time leveling in one area got it right. That's not to say that games that do have that are bad games necessarily. Again, I am a big fan of Earthbound, and if you don't spend huge amounts of time in certain areas grinding for experience, you will not make very much progress in that one. But I do think it does tend to detract from the experience if you want something that's a little bit faster or more breezy. So we should have enough to make it to the first dungeon, but again, I kind of want to get the sword, the copper sword, before we actually try to go into that area. So I'll spend some time off camera doing some leveling, and when we start episode 2, I'll kind of start it back where we're at right now so that we basically have the same experience going up to that castle as I would if I was not spending time off camera grinding. That's going to do it for episode 1 of our look at Dragon Warrior. As always, I do appreciate each of you watching, and we'll see you next time.